What's going on, YouTube community? It's your boy YfgmBlogTv, coming straight out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, in this video, I'm just continuing my top 10 quarterbacks in entering the 2015 season. I gave you part 1 with the top 5. Now I'm going to give you part 2 with the lower half. Now, coming in at number 6, I got to go with my guy Joe Flacco for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, of course, there's always been a lot of talk. Is Joe Flacco elite or is he not? Is he just average? Is he mediocre? Is he just an okay quarterback? Do he do the right things to get the job done? I got Joe Flacco up there in the top 10 for the simple fact that, he is a Super Bowl champion. And during 2012, he had one of the best postseason runs, 11-0 touchdown to interception ratios in the playoff. That was one of his best overall seasons in his career. Now, of course, he had a disappointing 2013 season, but, he kind of in 2014 kind of bounced back. I think he did very great in Gary Kubiak system, and with, of course, Mark Tressum as, of course, the Baltimore Ravens' new offensive coordinator. You can expect a lot of probably bailout passes to backs, in favor of route concepts to go along with Flacco, well-known, well-known ability to throw the deep ball. With, of course, reason why I say this is because, for one, Torrey Smith is gone, so you have to rely on Steve Smith and the rookies that they have. But overall, I think to Joe Flacco, he's still one of the top 10 quarterbacks entering into 2015. Now, moving on. This was tricky, but he's always been one of my favorites. And number 7, this is Phillip Rivers for the, Chargers, San Diego Chargers. Phillip Rivers, he's always been one of those up and down quarterbacks. He put up great numbers, but for some reason can't get the big wins in the playoffs. Of course, and also a lot of times he do throw a lot of interceptions. I think he threw 18 interceptions last season. He's like a Brett Favre type quarterback. It's just you can blame him a lot for those interceptions. You understand? Of course, hopefully Rivers this go round, he can have a better support system with the upgrades along the offensive line. In addition to the first round running back Melvin Gordon. Of course, it's odd that the Chargers don't set up more plays in which Rivers use play action, which I think Rivers should do play action more. Last season he had the lowest play action percentage of any starting quarterback, 7.8%, but completed 83.3% of his passes and threw 4 touchdowns and no interceptions out of play action. So I think that he should do play action a lot. Basically, they have to open up the playbook a little bit more. The Chargers might, be ahead of the Denver Broncos. Might. Now, of course, speaking of Denver Broncos, let's talk about one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks of all fucking time, and that's Peyton Manning of the Denver Broncos. Now, of course, late last season, it seemed like Peyton Manning, he just regressed. I really don't know what the hell happened. I think he's losing the ability. Of course, he looked like he's losing the ability to throw the deep ball. Maybe it could have been because of his quadricep injuries or the just the passing of time. He's getting old. I mean, he had those surgeries. We know what happened. There's a so it could just be he's just going downhill. Especially last December when Manning threw like 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in the playoffs. That shit was ridiculous. He averaged fewer than 5 yards per attempt and completed fewer than 57% of his passes, including 1 completion out of 8 passes attempts, 20 yards or more. But with that said, Peyton Manning, he decided to come back and play again for 2015 after agreeing to a pay cut. He's 39 years old. Hopefully he can make a full recovery from his injuries. And if, he does make a full recovery, it's still Peyton Manning at the end of the day. It's still a smart quarterback on the field. Still is the audible king. He still know how to read defenses. Even though he might be a little step down, but he still can complete passes and throw the ball, accurately. Even though at times it was back and forth. But they might, like I said, they probably get another great season out of him. But they have to throw use a lot of different concepts. You understand me? But anyway, moving on to number 9. Now y'all know I had to throw him in here, man. Even though he does play with one of the best defensive teams in the league. But number 9, Russell Wilson for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Russell Wilson just got a big contract. We all know that. Russell Wilson is one of those quarterbacks. You know, he's like a pure quarterback. You know, it's like he doesn't really make too many mistakes. He makes the right plays at the right time. He don't have to go out there and throw for 300, 400 something yards a game. He don't have to throw the ball over 50, 40, 50 times because he have a great running back in Marshawn Lynch. He have a great defense. So he does the right things to get the job done. He doesn't go out there and try to win the game. You know, he's still a long way to go, but I think at some point he could be like a great quarterback. Um, during the playoffs, Wilson, like I said, he did a lot to prove that he can stand in the pocket and fire the ball downfield. He led all quarterbacks with 12 completions of 19 deep attempts for 422 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. If he can just build, of course, with the new targets and Jeremy Graham and Tyler Lockett and maintain his threat as a read option runner, um, he may prove to be worth the contract. Okay, that he has gotten. Now, moving on, of course, it was tough, but I'm going to go with Matt Ryan for the number 10. Matt Ryan for the Falcons. Cool Matt Ryan. We all know it. Even though he hasn't won any playoff games, but hey, man, he's still a great damn quarterback in my eyes. He kind of got lost in the shuffle, of late. Subject pretty much a great quarterbacks has come up, but theirs has, Atlanta's regression as a team. Than anything Ryan's doing, Matt Ryan's doing wrong. In 2014, with pretty much a terrible offensive line, Ryan threw nearly 4,700 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 14 picks. He kind of get a free pass in my eyes for the simple fact because his line was just inefficient. They was shaky. But, what's interesting is that he wasn't particularly great under pressure. He completed only like 57% of his passes when, pretty much flushed in the pocket. But threw 5 of his interceptions, just 4 touchdowns under pressure. Ryan, he's never really been especially a great mobile quarterback. But the hope is that, with the new offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, whose primary success has been with mobile guys, can get the offensive line in check and Ryan can hit his targets. And hopefully Julio Jones and Roddy White and all those guys, they can just fucking stay healthy. That would help out a lot. So anyway, guys, this is the ending of my top 10 quarterbacks coming to 2015. You guys tell me who you think your top 5 or top 10 quarterbacks is coming to 2015. Comment, subscribe, favorite, like, share. Check out the previous videos. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I have a new webcam, a Logitech HD C920. But for some reason, my fucking sound is not coming out right, so I have to figure it out. But anyway, guys, I'm out. Deuces.